Pokemon Presents, February 27th, 2025. I do apologize that I didn't react to this sooner. I did intend to stream this. I slept like hot garbage. We talked about some predictions. I'm expecting Z to A. I'm expecting some sort of Gen 10 preview a little bit. Think like kind of like Bonsly in like Coliseum, Gale Darkness specifically. A little bit of Gen 10. Not necessarily, probably some Pokemon Unite updates. Like existing projects, that kind of thing. So I have a little bit of expectations going into this. I don't really expect any sort of like, this is the new VGC main series title going forward. But without further ado, get into this, shall we? I do like the animation. It's very smooth. Pokemon channel confirmed. Oh, whoa. Amazing.
Hello everyone, I'm Ishihara from the Pokémon Company. Today, February 27, is Pokémon Day. This is the date the Pokémon Red and Pokémon Green games were first released in Japan, marking the beginning of the Pokémon series. It's been 29 years since the birth of Pokémon.
I don't want to talk about it. I think I'm actually older than Pokemon because I was not 95 baby. I often will discuss this. This is an actual talking point. I turned 30 March 11th. Oh, I also like that. These are Japanese copies in the background. Like I'm looking at them. The red and green are definitely Japanese. Gold, silver. I think I actually have. It's gonna be behind it, but the emerald, fire red. Those are definitely Japanese. I have that exact copy of Pokemon Black as well. I like that these are all Japanese, which makes sense.
And we've reached this milestone through the support of all you trainers around the world. Thanks to all of you, it's now possible to enjoy Pokemon each day in a variety of ways. We hope to keep bringing you new experiences to brighten your day-to-day lives with Pokemon. In today's broadcast, we'll be sharing all the latest news about Pokemon, including our newest titles. Please enjoy the presentation.
I'm ready. I'm ready for this.
It's the Netflix series Pokémon Concierge. Taking place at the Pokémon Resort on a tropical island, the story follows Haru, who is still finding her feet as a new concierge, and
I had to actually, like, is this losing frames? No, this looks like this is stop motion. See, but that's the thing, right? Like, I feel like people are going to criticize, well, this is clearly just missing frames or losing frames. And it's like, okay, but if this is stop motion, like Wallace and Gromit, like that kind of style, like, is that not part of the medium? Like, criticisms and critiques are fair, but you have to understand what the medium is, what you're looking at, because it's not necessarily fair to, like, I don't know, have a criticism of Pokemon being like, well, there's not enough action when it's like, it's an RPG. What? Like, you get what I'm saying there?
Psyduck as they grow together through their interactions with the resort's Pokemon guests. Its charm lies in the warm visuals that can be achieved only through stop-motion animation. And new episodes of Pokemon Concierge are in production. They are slated for release in September 2025. What sort of Pokemon will Haru and Psyduck welcome as guests next?
Is it necessarily my thing? Not really. But is it one of those that I look at and I'm like, there's a lot of personality and charm behind this? Oh, 100%. And someone's going to absolutely love this, right? Just because I might not get the most enjoyment out of something doesn't mean that someone's not going to get the most enjoyment out of something. Or someone's, not going to look at this and they're going to be like, oh, this is actually amazing. It's going to be inspirational for them. Like, I'm a huge fan of not taking things away from people. You can disagree with something. You cannot be a fan of something. Like, but understand what something is trying to do and that there will be fans of it. Really, the criticisms come down to if something has poor writing, it's a clear cash grab, etc., right? And there's a number of series where you can discuss that. I think this is one of those? No. Am I saying this is one of those? No, absolutely not. I just want to offer clarification. Is this something necessarily aimed at me? No. I'm more of a competitive VGC player. We played VGC on ladder the other day. A number of things, like Soul Silver yesterday on Twitch. So I'm a Pokemon fan. Is this necessarily aimed at me? Not necessarily, but someone will get enjoyment out of this.
Take a first look at a few of the Pokemon they will meet in this motion test footage. Just look at the personality and how they move. But there's more.
Or fish.
For a limited time, the first 4 episodes are available to watch on Pokemon's official YouTube channel for free. Please take this chance to watch them if you haven't been able to tune in to Pokemon Concierge yet. And we hope you look forward to the new episodes as well.
What a cool promo. Gets everyone into it. First 4 episodes, yeah.
Hello everyone, I'm Utsunomiya from the Pokémon Company. Next, we have a number of other announcements to share with you.
In Pokemon Go Tour Unova Global will take place on March 1st and March 2nd. This event can be enjoyed at no cost from anywhere in the world where Pokemon Go is available. During the event, the legendary Pokemon Black Kyurem and White Kyurem will appear in raid battles and elsewhere. Also, trainers will soon have a chance to encounter Victini and Shiny Meloetta. We'll also share promo codes for everyone to enjoy. We hope you're looking forward to the new Season 2.
I also said that, like I said at the beginning, like, there's like existing project support, like Pokemon Unite and stuff. This kind of falls into that, because Pokemon Go is, for all intents and purposes, still ongoing, right? There's a lot of barriers to entry in a lot of places, like in Idaho specifically, where I have to go out of my way to go find, like Pokemon player, the Idaho players Pokemon Discord server. I have to go try to find that. I have to go try to find like actual like servers and groups to try to do some things. It's not one of those things like you walk outside and people are playing Pokemon Go, or there's a huge community, right? There's many, many raids that go left unbeaten and stuff, which is a huge regret. I think Pokemon Go is great. I love the concept of being able to further game state to get things like Urshifu, Black Kyurem, White Kyurem, just via Pokemon Go, transfer them into the mainline games, even though they have, they don't have guaranteed EVs and IVs. Well, I don't think they even have EVs, but like, sure, you just bottle cap them, call it good, right? So I like that Pokemon Go is still seeing support. I lament that I'm not able to make the most out of it, but I do like that there's still ongoing support. What? TCG?
Let's ride this wave! Surf's up!
We're heating up! Let's give it our all!
Pokemon Masters EX!
I would love to log in and get free rewards and stuff like that. I don't know what it is. Like, it's linked to my Pokemon Trainer account. It refuses to acknowledge that I can log in. It always says that there's an error and that I can't log in. I would love this. I love the Signa suits. I love the Signa suit. There's a lot of Cynthia Signa suit as well. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff in this game, and I actually enjoy the experience. I put money into this game, but so yeah, I'm locked out, and I haven't really been able to figure out how to actually get back in the game. I'm definitely a huge Hoenn stan. Seeing Shiny Rayquaza anytime I get to see it is always a treat. Amazing. Not necessarily a product that I engage in. I actually didn't know this came out. I do like the Beware with the hat, though. That's pretty based. A huge Beware fan. It just screams in the dub. It's so good. Yeah, not something that's necessarily aimed at me, but I know that somebody's going to get a lot of enjoyment out of this. But even I like that there's supporting projects like this. We had Pokemon Sleep come out, right? And I thought there were a couple others. I don't know. I feel like it was an internet shitpost, Pokemon Dentistry or something. I feel like that's a shitpost. I feel like I'm like actually like pulling that out of like the ether. Like it didn't actually exist nor ever was going to exist. Pokemon Sleep update ? Potentially. I'm actually curious if we're gonna get a movie reveal. We haven't had a movie in a minute, have we? Hi, Darkrai. This is Sleep. I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, a lot of people are gonna love seeing Darkrai, the Dream Nightmare duo, Gen 4, always very popular whenever they're in games. There we go. So I actually like that they're front loading this because there's a lot of people, and like we said at the beginning, right? We're like, oh yeah, we're going to have, you know, not necessarily live service updates, quote unquote, right? But like ongoing projects, Pokemon Go, Pokemon Sleep, Pokemon Unite, like Masters EX, like we have all these kind of like, you get these out of the way, you front load these to your constituent audience. Like you have new Netflix series that's going to appeal to a lot of people, a lot of kids, a lot of families are going to be able to watch that. They're going to have a lot of fun with that. And then it's like, cool, here are our updates that we're doing. These are things that you should look forward to. If there was going to be, if they say held off on like the Iron Leaves Walking Wake thing, that would probably be in this as well. They're probably going to backload a lot of the reveals because it wouldn't necessarily make sense. Let's say hypothetically Gen 10 gets revealed in this, right? Like we have 3 new starters. Does it necessarily make sense to put this at the beginning and then put like Unite, Sleep, etc. at the end? No, I think that you're front loading too much. And then why are people going to watch the back, 40 to 60% of your video, right? They're there for that specific thing. I like that they're building up suspense for it. Amazing. The outfit looks good.
Remote Stadium will be returning to ranked matches. Enjoy intense battles in the unforgettable Remote Stadium. A new type of battle is also arriving, called First to 500. In it, a new feature called Eos technology allows you to gain special effects when you score a certain number of points. Plus, look forward to an updated map with updated wild Pokémon. The win condition is simple. Be the first to score 500 points.
I kind of like it though. Like I played a little bit of Unite, especially when it came out. I played a little bit of it. It was pretty fun. Once again, in an area that doesn't see a lot of Pokemon Unite play, Pokemon play in general, so I kind of fell out of it. MOBAs aren't necessarily my thing. I'm kind of awful at them. In my short league stint, I mean, I played things like Ari mid, the occasional Ari top because someone else was in mid. But it's like, I don't know. No, Smite actually got a lot of value out of Smite. Played a mean, this is about when King Arthur and Merlin came out. Played a mean Jormungandr in solo lane. Loved playing Arthur. Oh my god. And even, I think he had it was after like the second Merlin nerf, I think. It was apply face to keyboard. Like, I'm okay at MOBAs, especially if I practice. I think I undersell myself. But like, I'm not like top 500 status, right? I'm not like Diamond Yumi status, right? Looks fun though. I'm glad it's still getting updates. Oh no. I think it's cool. I don't necessarily... I like that it's getting support, and I like that it's as popular as it is. I think I'm not a fan of TCG Pocket in the same way that I'm not a fan of Master Duel, where I like owning the physical product. I will pay the premium to buy into the format, right? It's no different than I know people like, well, Kip, wow, Kip, you spent a lot on Warhammer 40k, right? You have like, what, 3k points of Eldar, 2k points of plus of Custodes. You have some Space Marine stuff. Like, yeah, no, like I'll buy into a format, which is why then the issue comes up where it's like, well, what happens if somebody shows up and they're playing proxies and Magic? And it's like, I bought my stuff. I bought my Modern Tron deck. Yeah. Casually, whatever, but if you're not in an actual tournament setting, right? Like, and that's where you get into like 3D printing, like Warhammer models and stuff like that. Where look, if I'm in a tournament, the expectation is I buy the models, you buy the models. You don't just 3D print like 6 Wraith Knights to be able to use, right? But I mean, that's a little bit of nuance there. I don't necessarily it's kind of silly to me, and that's not in a demeaning or derogatory fashion, because there's people who absolutely get enjoyment. They don't want the physical bulk. Like bulk annoys people in games. Like I dropped a few hundred on Dragapult.ex.deck. I got my full arts and stuff. Not necessarily the trainers, because full art trainers get a little strange. But like, yeah, no, I bought deck. I have it single shipped to my house. You know, I would much rather play physical TCG status, but I guess I also come from a different era. I come from the era of like Legend of the Five Rings, the Naruto CCG, playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Hidden Arsenal 1 format, you know, through Hidden Arsenal 7, Legacy of the Valiant, Silent Honor Arc, Exciton Knight, even Pokemon TCG. I distinctly remember Black and White. I remember the full art Retro and Zekroms being chase rares. I remember Seismitoad EX, things like that, right? So, I mean, I've been around in TCGs for a minute. I mean, I've been playing casually since, you know, Structure Deck, Yugi, and Kaiba, right? I remember when things like Fossil and Jungle for Pokemon were in stores in the small town I grew up in. So I'm more of a physical TCG fan. I also want to go to events and stuff like that. But that's, if you enjoy Pocket, if you enjoy the actual like TCG Live, the TCG simulator, like no one should ever make you feel like your position is lesser or feel bad for it. I personally have a preference for physical tabletop. That's where I think I'm most comfortable. I also appreciate that human interaction, being able to laugh about, you know, someone benching a Slow King or something like that. I like that Pocket's taken off though. I think it gives people an avenue in, especially when you run into issues TCG wise where, I don't know, hearing Pokemon and investing in these same, like investing like stock wise, right? I think hearing Pokemon and investing in the same sentence makes me visibly sick. You show up to locals and it's just like, it's nothing but like PSA. You have like half the room that's like, you know, opening actual boxes, like cardboard boxes, lock boxes, and they got like, you know, stacks of PSA slabs, and it's mostly just trading. And I'm just like, bro, I came here to actually play the game. I got my Play Pokemon ID. Can I just play the game? Does anyone play this game anymore? I think Pocket can alleviate a lot of that, especially if it proves itself as a viable format, especially if they have like tournaments and stuff, right? Like having more ways in, I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. I think I welcome it because that can welcome people into things like, it's their entry point into things like VGC. It's their entry point into things like physical TCG. It's their entry into things like whatever the current TCG Live thing is, right? So I think it's a cool entry point, and I think it's a lot easier for people to be able to pick up something like Pokemon Pocket, especially with the success of things like Master Duel. I'm ready. New mechanic? Are we getting the fusion cards back? You know the not tag team, right? But the cards, was it Heart Gold, Soul Silver format? Was it around there? The legend cards where you had to have two legendary Pokemon like Ho-Oh-Lugia that you put together. Are we getting that back? Megas. Interesting. This makes me wonder, actually, if we're going to have things like Spirit Link, because we had like Kyogre Spirit Link, Groudon Spirit Link, Garchomp Spirit Link, etc. In the TCG, you could Mega Evolve, but you kind of had a summoning sickness kind of effect. I actually went back, because I actually want to play things like Expanded, even Legacy, or not Legacy, Eternal. Which is like from base set up, right? Like that's anything in the game. As an Expanded player, I was looking back and I'm like, oh god, like these Megas, like some of them just can't compete. Like Mega Garchomp EX just cannot compete with things that are coming out nowadays. Like the HP pool is wildly low. So I think this is actually super interesting. I'm a huge fan of Megas. I actually really like the mechanic. I actually thought Sun and Moon, even adding things like having Megas as an ability to buff certain Pokemon, even with like Z moves, I actually liked the dichotomy between the two because it gave you certain options. I like that we're seeing a focus on Megas again. And I think that it's a cool game bouncing wise. Obviously, run into some issues, right? Mega Genghis Khan in the video game was kind of pretty rough to say the least. I will say from a TCG standpoint, especially if we have especially if we have, like, special illustrator. Can you imagine a special illustrator rare like Gardevoir and Lucario like megas? Man, those are going to get incredibly scalped. People will be buying product. People will be trying to go for these. I mean, we even saw recently, I was watching PTCG Radio, like, Illustrator Rare, I think it's like Scarlet Violet base set, Illustrator Drowsy went up to like 80 USD and is now down to 60. Like, it is a collector's market for all intents and purposes. In a collector's market, not that I'm the specialist on this, nor should you take financial advice from me, as I legally cannot give financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Collector's markets are a bubble. They don't play by the normal rules of economics. I've been buying singles. I personally do buy singles, even though I might pay a little bit of a premium for certain things, like, say, like, a full art Dragapult EX. I feel that I get more bang for my buck than, one, trying to buy a case, two, if I can even find a case, right? And I personally do buy singles. I do pay a little bit more, but I at least guarantee what I buy, right? So that's kind of where I go from this. Megas, I'm excited for. I was literally looking at like Mega Garchomp EX last night, and I'm just like, wow, that was yeah, their HP is a little bit low. Power creep, HP inflation has definitely gone a little ways between from when we had those in like what X and Y or as formats. So I'm excited for this. I'm excited to see this. I'm excited to hear people's opinions, like Wasi, PTCG Radio. I'm excited to see what they do with the game. I personally have been debating on playing Cynthia.deck going post rotation. I hear things like Feraligatr are doing things. Yeah, expect more Pokemon TCG stuff, especially because I can travel and go to events and stuff, which gets me away from work for a little bit. Very much into the Pokemon TCG right now. You can argue the meta's a little stale in certain aspects. I think there could be an argument for that in terms of like, well, you need to run your Pheasantipity EX, we need to run XYZ, right? But that's any game, right? In any game, you're running your Reinforcement of the Army. In any game, you're running like your Shocklands, right? Like you will have staples that you run that are just strictly better than other options, right? DCE double colorless energy is in format, something we'll use double colorless energy. So I like this. I think this is a cool reveal. I was not expecting this. This definitely blindsided me, but I'm super happy. And I have something to look forward to, especially if Garchomp EX comes into the format. I would very much love to run Garchomp if it is good.
Next, allow me to share some news about the Pokemon video game series.
I'm ready.
In the Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet games, we're celebrating Pokemon Day with a Rotom phone case giveaway.
Cool.
Along with a mass outbreak event and other in-game events to come. A mighty Meowscarada, Skeledirge, and Quaquaval will appear in a series of Terra Raid battle events.
How to tell Kip can't read. This is the first time I'm hearing it's pronounced Quaquaval. I thought it was Quavaval. Kip, there's not two V's in there. I can't read. I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh player.
And even more Pokemon are planned to appear in the future.
Interesting.
We hope you continue to enjoy the Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet games.
And before Next Generation gets revealed, all of these are megas, because we have Mega Salamence, Mega Tyranitar, Mega Metagross. We get Mega Excalibur, Mega Dragapult. Dude, Mega Dragapult would be spooky. On the subject of Rotom, I mean, I use the Arceus phone case, right? I don't ever camp off that. I'll get these for, obvious reasons. I do like that we still have like massive event outbreaks and stuff like that. I do think that I do still personally see an issue with things because like Sword and Shield, right? They don't necessarily update the max raid dens anymore, right? Like there is a lifespan on the game. So if you wanted, say, your Gmax Snorlax in raids, or you wanted like the Mewtwo raids that ended up happening at some point, right? Like they at a certain point support will just stop. I don't know how you necessarily deal with something like. Do you put something like that on a rotator timer? Do you put something that's like every X amount of days? It'll have one of these. It'll do a rerun of a prior event. I don't know how you necessarily fix that to future-proof the game. But then again, is it necessarily the duty to future-proof the game? I think you start getting a stop killing games argument. Not necessarily that they're killing the game, etc. Right? But I think that my concern is it is seen as more disposable. Where in something like, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I say that, but Pokemon's always kind of engaged in that, right? Where if you wanted to get to the Naval Rock Birth Isle in Fire Red Leaf Green, right? Or Old Sea Map to get to Mew and Emerald, right? Like mystery gifts in general, like they've always kind of dealt with that. Where this in Pokemon Heart Gold Soul Silver, you have Silver Giovanni plot point, but if you weren't around there, there's no legitimate way to do that, right? Like, you're effectively locked out of that content, which has always kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And there's instances like, you know, Arceus flute, right? Being able to go to Sky Pillar and being able to use the flute, and it's like, oh, well, it's going to be deemed as too hard for players. Lamau read Braille one generation prior to get the Regis. I think that there's been contention, I think, in a lot of good ways for this. I know it's going to affect, I think, a not majority amount of players, but this is definitely one of those, like, concerns and reservations I have, especially as a trend that's been evolving over time. That makes me wonder if there's going to be, you know, at some point, will there be features that you're completely just locked out of altogether? I'm sure there's certain ones, right? Like going in Heart Gold Soul Silver, like in the GTS, like Gen 4 GTS, like it's just dead content, right? Like it can't connect to anything, so you can't do anything with it. But that's just mostly just trading, right? It makes me wonder if there's going to be something like, you know, Max Raid Den or Terra Raid Den type thing where you cannot do unless you're connected to Nintendo servers, right? I think that would be a huge step in a wrong-ish direction. I think a lot of people take reservations and issue with that, but that does become a concern, right? Not necessarily saying that it will become this. Think of it like a speculative concern that has no merit, and I'm potentially connecting strings together that don't necessarily go together, right? I'm binding strings in a chord that have no business being bound in a chord, or it's just not necessarily appropriate to bind them into a chord.
Next, please have a look at this video.
I'm ready. Hit me. I'm ready for this. My body's ready. Okay, Game Boy. Link cables, yes! How many kids are staring at this? Like, what is the cord that they're using? Oh my god, what a black... I literally showed up to a pizza place with two Game Boys and had a link cable. I ended up eating pizza, didn't actually use it, but the waiter was like, is that a Game Boy link cable? I'm like, yeah. Like, wow, I used one when I was a kid like 20 years ago. I'm like, yeah. Yes, I play Pokemon. I have like my Pokemon backpack, like full of just Pokemon games and stuff, and like, you know, link cables. I just do this. Wow, there's gonna be people who have no idea what this is. Okay, Stadium 2. Okay, I'm in. Okay, GBA era 3. Battle Revolution. I'm actually really sad that we didn't get a Battle Revolution or Stadium-esque thing after Gen 4. I think that will always have been a misstep for me, because that makes sense from to me, it makes sense from a VGC standpoint to, like, imagine if you had Scarlet and Violet, right? But you were able to transfer to some kind of Coliseum type mode, and then, you know, that also, in my opinion, would resolve the issues of, you know, new textures, new meshes, etc. You know, bloating the file space. Therefore, you only want X amount of Pokemon. Argument in favor of Brexit that I've heard, not Brexit, excuse me, Dexit that I've heard. Excuse me, a little bit of a misnomer there. So I think that has always been a potential solution to that. So I'm always sad that we never got like a Battle Revolution follow up, because like imagine Scarlet and Violet, but you like transfer your Pokemon, like your Miraidon, Koraidon, Wolfies, Incineroar, etc., over to said medium, right? And then it's just a Coliseum mode, like Battle Revolution, and it also has more of a spectacle aspect. It might even have improvements in frame rate and performance over just playing Switch to Switch, right? Because there's definitely some frame rate dips in a lot of things, especially when you start using the Terra mechanic. Always said that we never got a follow up to this. I like that they're showcasing Stadium 2 in this, though. This is interesting. I didn't see Coliseum or XD, which is a little sad, but it was really odd when Pokemon this past year was like, oh yeah, a birthday of Pokemon Coliseum. Like, wait, you recognize Coliseum? What? I don't know where the copyright. I'm sure the trademark and the copyright are held with Pokemon, but Genius already made it, so I don't know if there's some complications legally in the back end or not. Okay, we're going through the gens. 5. No, this is 6. No, 7. 7, because Raichu. 9. Okay. What? Are they making an Eternal VGC platform? What? Okay. Terra. Interesting. Is this what I've been advocating for this entire time? Is this the what I literally just talked about? Like having that stadium or having that battle revolution where you can just throw Pokemon into and have that battle experience? iOS, Android, and Nintendo Switch? Really? Color me absolutely intrigued. I've been talking about recently. I have this itch to have this training arc, right? Like, considering myself a Warhammer 40k fan, I want to earn my tournament wins. I want to, do XYZ to consider myself a part of it. VGC even, right? Like, I'm on this huge TCG. I'm on this huge training arc right now, dude. I'm ready. My body is actually ready for this. Wow. Okay. I like the legal disclosure. They have to legally, right?
What you've just seen is the world's first glimpse of a new title, Pokémon Champions.
Sure, okay.
This title will be focused on the Pokémon battles you know and love from core Pokémon games. Pokémon Champions will continue the tradition of pitting your skills against those of other trainers from around the world, but this time we're aiming for these core-style battles to be enjoyed by more players than ever before. Game Freak, the developer of the core games, is carrying out the planning for this project, while development is being handled by the Pokémon Works. And Pokémon Champions will be coming not only to the Nintendo Switch family of systems, but to mobile devices too.
I think they have to say family of systems because the Switch 2 is coming out, right?
You'll be able to choose how you want to play based on where you are. What's more, you can also connect with Pokémon Home. Thanks to this connectivity, you won't be limited to using Pokémon you can partner up with in Pokémon Champions. You'll be able to team up with Pokémon who joined you on your adventures in previous Pokémon games.
Okay.
We hope you're looking forward to battling Pokémon trainers from all corners of the world.
It makes sense that they're not able to disclose everything, especially if it's potentially this early in development. I don't think we know where it's at in development. I'm a huge fan because we've talked about it, like I said, the whole textures mesh thing, having only X amount of file space, having X amount of Pokemon in the game, it being unrealistic. By a lot of people's admission to have every Pokemon in the game. I think this has been the fix for a hot minute, right? The logical conclusion is if you can only have, say, 400 Pokemon in the game, and you have people who are like, but what about my Sunflora? What about my Mega Charizard X, right? What if I wanted to pit my Mega Charizard X against, like, a Water Terra Dodonzo, right? I think that the logical conclusion is a stadium style of game, right? I think this is coming back to their old philosophy, right? And sure, there's modes and stuff, like Battle Revolution had different stadiums. We had Stadium 1 and Stadium 2 that had little mini games and stuff. I'm not necessarily expecting those, no, but there were even like prizes and stuff. Like there were certain things where if you beat the Elite Four in Stadium, I think you got like a special Pokemon that you could transfer to Red, Blue, Yellow, right? Like there's a lot of potential for this, and even if it's just a battle simulator .exe, right? With compatibility to transfer Pokemon in, this is something that greatly interests me. I think this is amazing. I will absolutely stream retro games transferring up from bank to home to bring to these games. I will 100% do this.
Stay tuned for future announcements regarding the launch date of Pokémon Champions.
Oh, I will. I'm looking forward to this. 100%.
Next, we'd like to share some information about the languages Pokémon series games will be available in.
Okay.
Mr. Tomás Cortijo, please take it away.
Saludos a todos desde la nueva oficina de Pokémon en la hermosa Ciudad de México.
Cool.
Soy Tomás Cortijo, director regional para Latinoamérica de The Pokémon Company International. El día de hoy estoy muy feliz de anunciarles que Pokémon Champions estará disponible en español latinoamericano desde el día de su lanzamiento. De igual forma, además de los 9 idiomas que los entrenadores y entrenadoras pueden elegir, Leyendas Pokémon ZA tendrá también la opción de jugarse en español latinoamericano.
Okay.
Esto significa que de aquí en adelante habrá 10 idiomas disponibles para jugar. Finalmente, como ya anunciamos con anterioridad, las futuras expansiones del famoso juego de cartas coleccionables de Pokémon estarán también disponibles en español de Latinoamérica. Localizar productos como leyendas Pokémon ZA al español latinoamericano permitirá que millones de nuevos fans se unan a la comunidad global de Pokémon y se conecten con otros jugadores de formas nunca antes vistas. Como parte de The Pokémon Company Group, este es un claro ejemplo de nuestra misión de unir al mundo a través de Pokémon. Saber que los fans disfrutan aún más de jugar Pokémon en su idioma local nos permite explorar nuevas formas para deleitar a los jugadores de diferentes regiones y mercados como Latinoamérica.
Yeah.
Este es un momento increíble para ser fan de Pokémon, sin importar en qué parte del mundo te encuentres, por lo que no puedo esperar para unirme a todos ustedes en sus próximas aventuras. Nos vemos pronto.
I see this as nothing but an absolute net win. You have to remember, localizing games and stuff requires money. It requires manpower, right? There was it Hunter R. He's an animal. He does Animal Crossing stuff, like Animal Crossing facts and stuff. Someone was talking about the N64 at GameCube kind of localization into China, and how like one dude localized the entirety of Animal Crossing, every line of dialogue, and it was like 2 years. I'm like, it just takes time. I think that from a core design philosophy, at least in the dub, right? I don't know what it's necessarily in the actual core Japanese language, right? I mean, how many times have we, heard the phrase "we all live in a Pokemon world" when it comes to like English openings and stuff? I think as a core design philosophy, Pokemon is about connecting others. It's about teamwork, right? You have to use, I used this example recently, you have to use your waterfall to get up to the Evergrande City Pokemon Center to go through Victory Road and into the Elite Four. And you use your team, your type effectiveness, type matchups, level even, to beat the Elite Four down, right? You have, say, there's this flimsy tree in your way into Galactic HQ. Well, you got to cut down that tree, right? RBYGSC, right? You need to surf to be able to get to things like Cinnabar Island. So teamwork, working together, and communication has always been core to Pokemon, in my opinion. And I think it's honestly really cool to help break down some of those language barriers. I mean, is it necessarily homogenizing everything? No, absolutely not. But it's really cool if, I'm playing, say, Dragapult EX in the TCG, and I'm able to play against, somebody from insert town in Mexico or insert town in Korea, right? Like, it's really cool to be able to meet with fans all, like, globally. And it's really, really cool to me. And VGC-wise, right, you have more language, just means more people able to play VGC. More people can get into this hobby. More people are able to keep the game alive. Because, I mean, I'm sure any gamer can tell you, right, they want more players in their community. But they want people who are going to respect their community first and foremost, right? Warhammer comes to mind. They don't want people necessarily... I don't want people coming in and just like, well, I don't like the Eldari Soulstones. That sucks. Just change it. Excuse you? Who are you to say? You don't want someone coming into Pokemon and just being like, well, Megas and these just kind of suck, just get rid of all of them. Okay, but there's a lot of people who enjoy Megas, and there's people who enjoy Terra. There's people who do enjoy Dynamax and Gigantamax, as problematic as certain aspects of it was design-wise for competitive play, right? Like, who are you to decide that, right? Well, I don't necessarily like how Gyarados is the evolution of Magikarp, and it should be the evolution of Dratini and Dragonair. Okay, who are you to decide that? As long as people coming in are respectful, and the people... kind of in, playing communities games already are respectful in return, that's where the community is fun. That's where playing the game is fun. So it's about a mutual respect thing. And I'm all for more people getting into this, right? I'm all for more people playing. Means we have more product printed, means we have increased budgets, I would assume, for certain things, right? In terms of development. I think that this is a net win. I think this is absolutely a win.
Finally, here's the latest update on Pokemon Legends ZA.
Sure, I'm in. Let's see this. Let's see what drops. This man stares at the camera. I love him. Very Kalos, yeah. This looks really clean so far. The thing that tipped me off about Scarlet and Violet performance issues was I can't remember the name of the town, the Sunflora town, the windmill. How the windmill, when you zoomed in on it in the trailer, it was moving at reduced frames. So far, this is looking very clean. There's the keystone. Oh, wow. Hi, AZ.
Pokemon Legends ZA is a new title in the Pokemon series. The story takes place in Lumiose City, the largest city in the Kalos region. Prism Tower stands tall at the center of this city of beautiful vistas. These days, Lumiose is undergoing a high-tech urban redevelopment plan to turn it into a city that people and Pokemon truly share.
We already have Garwood in. I'm sold. I love my trash pile. I absolutely love Garwood. Like, I unironically love it.
After you arrive in Lumiose City to see the sights, you'll meet 3 Pokemon, one of which will become your first partner. Chikorita, Tepig, and Totodile.
I might have to go Team Dial. I probably have to go Team Dial. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I can do Tepig. I don't know. It depends if Megative gets a buffer nod or a regional variant. In a vacuum, I would probably have to go with Totodile. Just engage my core Pokemon Crystal, like, lizard brain. I say that lovingly. Love Crystal. And just go Totodile.
You'll choose one of these Pokemon to accompany you on a new journey as you get to know Lumiose City and its inhabitants. Here are some of the colorful characters you'll encounter. When you arrive in Lumiose, you'll meet a new friend and ally, either Urbane or Tawny.
Okay.
The hotel where you'll be staying is run by AZ. You'll also meet his partner, Floette.
Interesting.
Lumiose's redevelopment is being managed by Quasartico Inc. You'll be
Why do I get, like, Mad Cypher vibes, right? Cypher from Coliseum XD. Why do I get Mad Cypher vibes from them?
become acquainted with the company's CEO, Jet, and her secretary, Vinny.
It's I know what it is. It's the sunglasses off of the dude. It's the sunglasses off of...
You'll become acquainted with the company's
Yeah, it's Vinny's sunglasses. That's why it's Cypher-esque to me.
CEO, Jet, and her secretary, Vinny. The different people you meet will make your time in Lumiose all the richer.
Interesting.
To help people and Pokemon coexist, the city has set up wild zones. These areas, located throughout Lumiose, give wild Pokemon habitats where they can thrive.
I think that wild zones make a lot of sense, though. I think they make a lot of sense not only in keeping things restricted to Lumiose City. I think that it also helps with game performance, right? Because I'd have to have somebody who has back-end code knowledge, not necessarily back-end, right, but like coding knowledge, understanding how it interacts with the Switch's processing and RAM, as to understand why certain things like the lake where you find Dodonzo, Tatsugiri, etc., and Scarlet and Violet, why it bogs down so much, especially in rain, or why Miraidon causes the game to bog down. I think that keeping it, I mean, it's not dissimilar to routes, right? Think like your entire, I mean, think of this like Kanto to a degree, right? Like where you have Goldenrod's Johto. Blech. Sorry, forgetting names. Where you have Silphco. Where is Silphco? It's throwing me off now. It's not Celadon. Celadon's where the game corner is. I'm totally forgetting it, and I'm feeling super awful because I'm forgetting it right now. But like that area where you have like Vermilion City, Saffron City, Celadon City, right? Cerulean City, that area. Think of it kind of like that, but like the routes in between kind of being the wild zones, right? Like you have a bunch of cities effectively in close proximity to each other, and this is just routes between. And especially if we're going for that open world vibe, I feel this might be a lot more forgiving on the Switch's processing. I would love to see if there was a performance because like there's a direct correlation and causation to that. I think that would be super interesting.
To catch one of these wild Pokemon, aim carefully, then throw a Pokeball.
Okay, let's go mechanic, kind of.
If you're having a hard time catching one, have one of your Pokemon use its moves to weaken the target, making it easier to catch.
Did we just see it knock out the Flaffy and you still able to catch it? Wow, that's interesting.
This game offers a style of Pokemon battling not seen in previous titles.
Okay.
Moves can have a longer or shorter reach, or different areas of effect. So choose your timing and positioning carefully to gain the upper hand.
So this tells me that there's going to be a split. We know this is Legends style gameplay, right? This potentially tells me that Pokemon games might focus more on these kinds of things. I mean, we don't really have a Gen 10 as far as I'm aware, right? Like, we don't know what that is. And even then, I think pushing it out a little bit might be more beneficial, right? It felt like 8 and 9 kind of came back to back really, really quick. At least to me, at least to my in relation to how I perceive time, right? Like, it felt like they came out really quick. I think holding that up might be super legit. I see this as being really, really cool because this gives, more people more Legend style gameplay, and especially like Champions, right? Depending on when that comes out, how that comes out, that might actually scratch the VGC itch or become the VGC platform. I think that's super cool.
Lead your partner Pokemon through battles and dodge incoming attacks. Swap Pokemon if you need to and find the right moment to unleash a move. What's more, certain Pokemon can go beyond evolution by undergoing Mega Evolution.
Poor Kang.
When a trainer's Keystone resonates with the Mega Stone held by their Pokemon, the Pokemon will do more than just change shape. It'll unlock a new level of power, turning the tide of battle in its favor.
The animations look really clean. Like, I've definitely seen some auto battles in Scarlet and Violet where frames are dipping. All of these, at least showcased, look very, very clean.
As Lumiose continues its transformation into a city that belongs to both people and Pokemon, who knows what kinds of encounters and experiences will await you.
Hi, Zigguard. Zigguard cores are back.
Pokemon Legends ZA. Coming late 2025.
Sure. I think that especially if they needed that additional development time, I think that to have a clean and stable presentation like that, I'm sure there might be bugs. I'm sure there's probably going to be day one patches with everything, right? That's very clean. That makes me look really forward to it. I wonder if that's running on native Switch, like Switch 1, Switch 2, Switch OLED, or if it's going to be this is running on Switch 2 hardware. Oh, whoa. What this? Hi, Rotom. Promotion match announcement. There's someone with far more knowledge than I do that's able to pull stuff from that. I don't really think I can pull anything from that. Yeah, I'm definitely missing a lot there.
Pokemon Legends ZA is scheduled to release in late 2025. We hope everybody can wait just a little longer for their adventures in Lumiose City to begin. That concludes our announcements for today. Thank you very much for watching.
Interesting. I thought this was great. I like this. Amazing. The bit. They continued with the bit. I think that's a lot of news revealed. I think that is a bunch revealed. And I honestly kind of like that. I can't wait to see what happens. I might call things incorrectly. There might be stability and performance issues. This might be native to the Switch 2. Championships might be something entirely different. I have a lot of hope, Champions. I have a lot of hope for Champions. There was a lot to unpack in this one, and I somehow I about doubled the length of this. I felt I add some sort of commentary. I liked it. I thought it was really positive. I think it has a lot of information. I think that a lot of people are going to have a lot of fun with this, and we will wait. We will wait for content as long as the wait is justifiable, right? Like if you say we need another year on game development and it's still a buggy mess and it's still like, you still have issues with performance. Yeah, like that as features go unreleased, etc. I think that becomes an issue. But I think with this, I'm pretty into this. I feel pretty good about this. Feel pretty good about things. TCG wise, I can't wait to see megas. I personally want to see what is and isn't good. If we look at trying to see if we can see what their card effects are, I thought we were able to. Give me a second to actually look and see if we can see them or not, because it depends. I'm sure like if we can see attacks in that, I mean, people are going to make some meta judgments, right? Because we have Mega Lucario. They're doing the single strike, rapid strike thing where they have that. Mega EX roll, I think taking 3 prizes is completely fair, especially if they're going to be super big powerhouses. Or a jab, 1 fighting energy, 130. Attach up to 3 basic fighting energy from your, I'm assuming, discard to your bench Pokemon any way that you like. I mean, to be fair, you have to remember that this is, wait a minute. This is a stage 1. No, there's not going to be Spirit Links because they're stage 1, right? So if we go to... Pardon me, give me a second so I can actually showcase this. If we go to Lucario's Spirit Link in the TCG, and we go to, we're pulling this up on good old Google. Your turn does not end if the Pokemon this card is attached to becomes Mega Lucario EX, right? Like, we had to have actual item cards specifically to deal with your turn not ending for Mega Evolving. So the fact that these are now stage 1s, and I've been saying for a while, I've been saying this since Sun and Moon, I think stage 1 Pokemon are in the best slot because of the tempo it takes to get their game state rolling. That being said, stage 2s can be very potent, right? But the thing with stage 2s is they have to justify yourself. If I'm a stage 1 Pokemon and I'm able to hit certain thresholds, especially for weakness. So let's say the metagame is Dragapult EX, right? Let's say Dragapult EX is weak to darkness, right? But you have a Zoroark EX, which is a stage 1, and for 2 energy, it does enough to knock out Dragapult EX, right? Like, you're hitting certain thresholds. You're able to justify. Dragapult, any stage 2, has to justify what it's doing. And I like that they show a stage 1 aside from a stage 2. I feel like that's intentional. I feel like, I mean, Lucario, Gardevoir fans, right? I do actually relate. 340 HP is honestly pretty nutty. Mega Brave, during an extended this Pokemon can't use this attack. That's fine. 270 for 2 fighting is honestly kind of nutty. I wonder, honestly, what you're going to pair this with. I'm very, very excited that Megas are coming back. I wonder if Garchomp... I'm sure Garchomp will get one. Rayquaza, though. If Rayquaza gets one, I'm definitely playing Mega Rayquaza, even if it's actually, like, table 500 jank tier. I like this. This is very interesting. I think I actually saw, when I went to YouTube's homepage, I think I saw Wasi already have a video up on this, so I'll be sure to watch that. Going into Mega Gardevoir EX, 360 for a stage 2. So you're only getting 20 more HP. Overflowing Wishes, 1 Psychic Energy. For each of your bench Pokemon, you may search your deck for a basic Psychic Energy card attached to your Pokemon, to that Pokemon. For each of your bench Pokemon, search your deck for a basic Psychic Energy card and attach it to that Pokemon. Then shuffle your deck. So I'm assuming if you have a full bench of 5, you take 5 Psychic and attach 1 to each, is what this sounds like if I RTFC this. Mega Symphonia, this attack does 50 damage for each Psychic Energy attached to all of your Pokemon, which would make sense. I think this is great, especially if you're hitting Psychic for Psychic Weakness. I think that's great. I think it's interesting to see both of these side to side. I'm personally very happy for TCG. If you want more TCG content, you want opinion pieces on TCG, let me know. If you want more VGC content, let me know as well. I do have Professor Kip as a channel on which I would like to do things. Even if at this point it's commentary, I would be willing to try and put my 2 cents in a lot of these things. But I honestly enjoyed this. I'm super excited, and I hope you are as well. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Let me know what your favorite part about this was, and I'll see you in the next one.